Iconica Studios.
All right. Hi, this is Mark Johnson. It's early in the morning. I don't want to wake up my family. So I'm going to talk kind of quietly, but I'm the illustrator for Allen Stoll. He's a really good um, children's book author. He's got three that I know of. I might have more, I don't know, but three that I know of. Just about two brothers going on adventures set in a game type world. One brother, Noah, is reserved. I get the impression intelligent, conservative, um, enjoys an adventure, but as I said, reserved. The other is Alex. He's more outgoing, adventurous, always up for an adventure, regardless of the problems that could come up. What you look at that right now is Noah and Alex, and we're changing up the excuse my hesitations. I'm thinking and doing at the same time, which is I'm not good at. We're going to change the look up a bit. This went through many stages, but we're kind of wanting to go from here to more of something like this. Simplified, fun. Not that the others weren't those things, but this is just more of a kind of what Alan and I agreed on. Alan is a collaborative type individual, very willing to collaborate and listen to your ideas. But he knows what he wants, and he'll stick to that, which I like. So this is just the sketch that I did on my computer, and now I'm going to put it over on pencil with my little light table. These things are like $10-15. I hope that didn't mess up the video. But they are so cheap, inexpensive, and work so well. Very thin. It's like about the thickness of a cracker. I'm going to tape this. Some of this will be narrated with a voiceover. And excuse me, some of it will be as it is now. The voiceover will probably be on stuff I've forgotten or stuff that is sped up, because you're not going to want to watch this whole thing. One, I'm not that exciting. Two, it's just a lot of the same stuff. But if you enjoy that kind of stuff, cool. You're welcome to hang around as long as you want. So here we go. I'm using a 2H pencil. It doesn't really matter, in my opinion, with this, what I'm doing here. I'm just getting a tracing of what I've drawn, so I can go in and correct that and then go in and ink it. I'll ink on some vellum. Vellum is like a tracing paper. This is vellum. It feels wonderful. It feels waxy, but it's not wax. This is called a Tombow. Oops, I think I moved. Tombow. The tip on these are amazing. It's like a nylon tip, not bristles, but a tip, like a brusher tip, a brush, marker tip. But they last forever. It's my favorite brush marker, and it acts like a brush. You can get thin lines, extremely thin lines, or you can get thick lines. or in between. And I mean, really amazing uh, marker. I can't pronounce the company that makes them. It's an Asian company. I say Asian simply because I don't know if it's Chinese or Japanese or Korean. Um, but if you're into inking and you're really into maybe lettering or brushwork, it's very forgiving. The last much the felt stuff just wears out, becomes dull. Um, the nylon bristles are great, but they can get hairy. So I'm trying to tame down Noah's hair, which I will do probably in the next part of this. Alan says he wants his hair wavy and um, shaggy. So I thought these little things might be fun. Just here and there. He's got black hair or dark brown hair maybe, and so I need to figure that out. When you're drawing something like this with lines this thick, I'm not an expert by any means. So I'm just sharing what I think makes sense. There's far better inkers than I, for sure. I'm gonna share what I have found to be true when I'm doing stuff. If you're doing small stuff with thick lines, the best thing you can do is eliminate what you don't need. So, for example, on this glove, I'm going to do the top part of the glove, and then when I get close to the arrow, I'm just going to stop before the arrow is even involved. There's an arrow running through here. And then come across to the thumb area, do the thumb, stop there, jump over. There we go. You don't need to draw every little detail because it will just get messy. My brother, oops, I messed that up. Just part of the sketch, it doesn't matter, it's fine. My brother is really good at abstracts, illustrating. I don't want that circle on there. I want this bow, or this arrow rather, to bend a little bit. But my brother has worked with a company that works for, they're called Landau, and they have worked with companies like Warner Brother, and my brother's done books with Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck in them, and he is really good. I give a shout out whenever I can because the guy has had a rough time of it with an illness, and he's managed to rise above that, but it took him out of the game as far as doing some things he would like to do. It just proved to be too much for him, which I understand. With his particular illness, I can't imagine doing much of anything, but he's risen above it all. A wonderful man, wonderful brother, and he deserves for people to know about him. Michael, I don't give his last name because I don't know what he feels about other people knowing that stuff, but Michael is his name. Actually, you know what? He has a site with his art on it, so I'm sure he doesn't mind people visiting that. Check out Michael Johnson, um, an artist, uh, does abstracts. Um, really amazing. So yeah, I don't think he'd mind at all. I guess I should have asked. Too late. Sorry, Mike. Now here, this leg is a good example of what I'm talking about with not drawing too much. So I'm gonna do the thigh, the knee, and the shin. That's all I'm gonna draw is just that curve. Then down here I'm gonna do that line for the back of the thigh, a couple of wrinkles, and I'm gonna leave that space. I'm not gonna fill that in. And then a little bit of an overlap for the calf. Overlapping is a great way to show space or dimension, form, whatever you want to call it, volume, form. Yeah, those are good, better words than space. Same way with this leg, I'm gonna shorten it a little bit. It's a little too long. Little foot. Yeah, yeah. That's the ticket. Sorry about that. Okay, so back to Allen in the book. I like that. There's still some things I need to do, but it's closer to what I want. Here's Alex, adventurous Alex. When you're drawing, I'll get back to Allen here in a second, but when you're drawing, you want to suggest the character by the lines that you draw. Noah is more conservative, soft, reserved. He's going to think something out before he does it. So my lines are rounder. I didn't point these corners exactly. I try to keep away from any lines that are exactly straight. Just kind of a soft curving figure because that's who Noah is. Noah. Here with Allen, my lines are squared off. You can see these angles I've got. Angle, point. There are some curves. He's not a robot, you know. But I'm trying to go with more angular lines to show in a manner of personality. He's edgy. He's something about that mouth is bothering me. Ready to get into the fight, ready to jump at a chance for adventure. You notice Noah's nose is rounded. Alex's is pointed. That doesn't mean your character would have to have those, that a character has to have these elements to be edgy, but it helps to get across the point. Now here's the part I keep struggling with, the hair. I'm going to keep this one small. Notice it's curved, but it comes to a point. This one's bigger, but it comes to a point. And here, come across, stop, finish it off. That's for the little hairs that are out of place. this I find sometimes drawing quickly is just more valuable. We'll see what happens. Yeah, that's nice. When I draw that slowly, it tends to look just weird. Well, it looks like this. Just weird. I don't know how to describe it. It looks more fluid here. Although with Alex, maybe a jerky motion would make more sense. I don't know. Okay, an ear over here, and some hair over here. I feel like this should come out more. This empty space bothers me because it feels like there should be hair there or something. I don't know. Now, there's a lot going on in Alex's outfit here. He's wearing armor. So I have found less is more. Again, this is a sketch, so if boo-boo's okay. And I don't say boo-boo usually. That's not my usual vocabulary. Okay, so in drawing this, normally I would do a ton of shading for this armor, but I'm going to shade a little bit right now to show you what I think I should do instead. I'm just going to do a couple, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then a little squiggle that gets really light and then dark again to suggest some shine. This right here, I probably should be penciling because I'm not sure if I want everything there the way it is already. So I think I'm going to do that. I'll grab my pencil here, grab a darker pencil so you can see it. Sounds like my son Noah's up. No relation to this Noah. He's related to me. It's just how that works. I hope you can see that. When drawing hands, I have found a mitten is a good place to start. I've heard that said before too, but I have found it to be the case. Don't draw every little finger. Draw the mitten. Like, for example, over here. If I'm drawing someone waving goodbye, draw thumb. Take the drawing off. Draw thumb. And then think about a piece of bread maybe. So you've got a pear, a stretched out pear, a piece of bread, and the pear lays on top of the bread by overlapping. Then don't draw these noodles. Right? That just looks bad. It looks fake. It looks, even if it's a cartoon, it looks bad. And cartoons can look pretty simple and still work. He's just pointing up. So I'm going to draw a mitten first. So my mitten is covering the pointed finger and covering the knuckles of the other ones. Then I can go in and get specific with the fingers. These are slightly curled over. Not all the way. A little bit of a crease there. Try not to do this. That would be something I wouldn't do. So let me draw another hand here. I'm going to do a peace sign. Get off there. Okay. You've got your piece of bread. And you got your pair. The pair is different this time because it's holding down some fingers. So I'm gonna draw that last, but here's my mitten. You got two fingers pushing up and then two down. And then you start breaking it up. Let's do the thumb first though. It comes across and holds down some of these fingers. Then the bottom of the pair. I find it funny when I do examples for people. It's not very good. Then I'm going to separate these, a little space in between those. So that drawing was just a guide. And then where the knuckles would be. And then the bottom there. This is too high, that should be down there. This should be down here. You get the idea though. Mittens, just something like that to start you off with. So let's get on drawing with drawing Alan, or not Alan, Alex. So Alex didn't start off as an author. Good morning, Noah.
Good morning.
I'm recording a video, a drawing, so you'll hear me talking. Alan is, like I said, a great guy, but I guess he didn't start off wanting to write. I haven't known him for a long time, but he's one of those people that you get to know and you feel like you've known him for a long time. I'm sure you've had people like that in your life. He said that he was working at his regular job and listening to some stories, I think, on audiobook. And in listening to him, he realized they were good, but they were simple. And not simple in a bad way, just simple. And he thought, this is something I could do. And went straight to it and got all the research pounded out, and next thing you know, he's 3 books in, got other ideas ready to start, and yeah, I admire anybody that has an idea and does something with it. Now, something you may not know, but when you're drawing something and you want it to look like it's going away, like it's real far back, just draw it smaller. See how small this leg looks. And this leg up here, I'm going to draw everything a little bigger than I normally would. The foot's going to be quite a bit bigger. And that just gives that illusion of depth. Perspective is the technical name for it. Depth works good too, though. Okay. Oh, I left one out, I think. Alex is a little more adventurous, so Alan wanted him a little more, I wouldn't call him buff, but not not, you know, Noah has these bigger at the bottom, kind of a marshmallow shape. Alex has got a little narrower, excuse me, a little more narrow at the waist, a little bigger in the chest. I'm sorry, that's in my brain now. Something else, sometimes instead of drawing detail, it's smarter just to black something out. The detail you just won't be able to see. So I'm going to black out his back leg there. Maybe almost all of it. A little bit of light catching right there. Oh man, it's not going to go away. It's there for good. I'm going to try not to do that again. A neat part of drawing is visual texture. And the idea of visual texture is simplistically representing, I guess it would have to be simple, but I would say most of the time it is, simplistically representing the texture of something by creating, it's just basic certain types of lines. I'll do a little demonstration here. Let's say I want something to look like fabric. I might go, here's a block. I might just do a little bit of, that makes you think a little bit like weaving. Or maybe I will make a little bit like a weave. Put a line going the other direction. Let's say I want it to look like the edge. There's some things I've been doing on this particular project. I want it to be what's it called? An old tower. And I'm just doing this kind of quick. I'm not going to draw every brick, but I might just here and there do some rounded flat edges of my brush or marker to give that illusion. Let's say it's a reptile. Is that Noah?
Mm-hmm.
Just a series of U's that are offset from one from another. Turn this off. Bark. I have found wiggly lines with an occasional dot, but I only use 1 or 2 dots in an entire tree. And your wiggly lines have some different thicknesses, and the thicker lines are on one side because that side would be in shadow. So I have more lines on the left in this case, and thicker lines on the left. So it looks a little bit like a board. Hair, maybe you'd have a series of tallies. That's little short hairs, like maybe on a dog or something. Grass is fun. I love doing grass. I just do a little flick, and then I always overlap or underlap, I guess. You got that little tuft of grass there, and then I'm gonna do some short stuff. Then occasionally I put a little bit of a ground, and you know what? I think I'm strategically placing these things certain places, but I can't tell you why I'm placing them there. So there's some grass. Okay, let's move on. Alex's sword. I like using straight edges, but for some things you don't want to do that because it will just kill it. It will look very mechanical. And it's strange how so many people will go to their ruler and, because they want things to look good. I understand that. But sometimes you don't want, especially if you're drawing trees, apples and oranges, or vegetables, BFG, or if you're drawing humans, animals, you don't want to use a ruler. You want things to be messy in a good way. Oh, that's the vellum on top. Vellum is it's a really nice feeling. It's silky, and your marker just flows across it. Sorry about that. Okay, here's my opinion. You tell me your opinion. I kind of feel Allen's hair is just out of control, so I'm gonna bring it in a little bit. I'm sure you can't see this. I apologize. Need a little bit of a thing there and that there. I'm just making little corrections here and there, bringing that down a little bit. And I'm gonna fix this while I'm at it because I might trace right over it incorrectly. Okay, here we go. The final inking. The final inking. This is the wrong marker. Where's my... Is that the one I want? I want the black one. Here we go. 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 Camera around and push down, lift up. So when I'm inking, I like to start off soft, push it down, then lift up. Soft, push down, then lift up. In the middle is where the thick should be, in my opinion, which is typically what most people say, but isn't necessarily always the case. Sometimes the opposite is really nice. I wish you could feel this, how this feels. Flat, lift up. Yeah, sometimes I just don't want to connect them. I like that openness. A lot can be said with a little, especially in cartooning. So when you're drawing cartoons, the space that is left over can be very valuable. your mind will put together what it needs to put together to make the image. Now I'll put a thick line right there for a shadow for his head. Made that a little thicker there. Something is bothering me about the scarf. I'm gonna put a little what is it called? Overlap there. There, that did it. Then I'm gonna offset this a little bit. You don't want two different lines to line up, because then your mind will think that they're the same line. So here's the front of the scarf, here's the back part of the scarf. I had it to where this line was really close to this line. And it was like, well, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Same thing here, a little shadow so that it pushes the scarf back a little bit. I'm not even going to connect his side to his arm there. I'm just going to draw the belt and then draw the bottom part of his tunic. A little curve in that way. A couple little lines to suggest a fold. Fix that belt, it's a little bit weird. I'll hold off on the circle thing, the belt buckle, until my hand gets a little bit more warmed up. You'd think it'd be warm enough by now, but it's not. I'm still jiggling a bit. Besides, I got this thing. My reflexes are too severe. I used to think that was cool. They told me, "Oh, you've got very severe reflexes," and I thought, "Yeah, I'm Spider-Man or what?" Back when I was a kid, but it's not good at all. It gets worse, and then next thing you know, your hand jerks every once in a while, and you can't keep it still. Now here's an occasion where this line of the bow lines up with the sleeve, at the end of the sleeve. You don't want that. So we'll pull this back a little bit, and there. Might as well put that in there. That should be in front of his hair, so I'm going to need to white that out. I don't like using whiteout, but I have to here. What I could do is add a shadow underneath this to make it look like it's folded over a little bit. But like I said, this then would line up with the hair, and it would be confusing. Is the hair in front or is the hair in back? So yeah, you need to watch for those things. Let's go here and add our shadows. There's my glove. I've been looking for you. This Galman glove, Galman. It's meant so that your skin doesn't touch a drawing screen. That is because your stylus will activate the screen, but your skin will too if it's a touch sensitive. So you wear this so that it doesn't do that. But you can I also wear it just so my skin oils doesn't mess up the drawing. I haven't been able to find it in a while. Some other things you can do is take a little piece of paper, tear off a little piece. I needed that. No, I didn't. That was a joke. A bad joke. Take this and tape it to your hand. Just take a piece of tape. This stuff is simple, but if you're someone who you might not think outside the box, or maybe you're 7 or 8, you can take a piece of tape, roll it around your finger and make a loop. Put it on your hand. Put your hand on the paper. And then, although the paper slides, there's no moisture from your hand to pick up that graphite and smear it, or pick up that ink and smear it. But a glove. I'm not going to scribble, but I am going to loosely throw in some ink. There goes my... So it feels a little looser. And I'm not going to fill in the entire area. It just feels, you know. Now, if I do this here, the sleeve will blend in with the shadow. So I'm staying away from the line. Over there I can touch, but where the line is, or where the shadow is, I'm not going to touch. Okay, down here. And the scarf. It almost feels like the boots, the gloves, and the scarf should all match the belt, but I don't want to. So now here we go with texture. I want his leggings and his armings to have kind of a feel like they're made out of fabric. So I'm going to just put a couple little teeny lines that go in the direction horizontally across his leg. Very short lines. I'm going to do the same thing with the arms. Just a little. Just a couple. Kind of feel like the scarf would have the same kind of feeling. Just a few. And I'm trying to go in line with what the scarf's doing. There we go. One right there. Last thing is, when you're shading with ink, if you want this, well, if you're drawing a ball and your ball is right there, you want the light to come and hit it here. With ink, you can draw thin to thick lines, and your eye will translate that. And I'll tell you the science behind this if you're at all interested. If you're not interested, you'll need to pause or walk out and get a sandwich while I'm explaining this, because I'm going to explain it regardless. So, where the line is thick, where it's solid, it's black. That's shadow. Where it gets thinner, there's more paper, which represents light. It's the white part, so it's the light part. The dark is the ink. or the shadow. Over here, there's more paper, less ink. Over here, there's more ink, less paper. Your eye says white, gray, black. If you squint your eyes right now, you can almost see that. I could do what's called, this is hatching. I could do what's called cross hatching, which is to bring in some secondary lines. That's not very good at all representing a sphere, but it does represent what I'm talking about. So this gets even more controlled as far as what's light and what's dark. A little cast shadow. Okay, so down here I'll do something like a couple lines there, a couple lines here, maybe on the foot a couple. On this arm, so you can tell it's rolling over. On the glove here, just a couple. Maybe here under the arrow. You see how now that arrow feels like it's in front of that hand a little bit better, a little more. Right here, a little something. Here we go. So I'm going to start by drawing this line. And you can see why this is nerve-wracking. I don't like using whiteout. So if I mess this up, so I've just made some spots for the light to hit. Now I'm going to go and fill that up. And hopefully I don't forget what's what. Another thing neat about a brush pen, or a brush itself, is I know people, and I used to do this, I would use these pins that were precision pins. You know, they have different numbers for different thicknesses. A 1 might be really thick, and then a 0.5 is half the thickness, and you can get very fine lines and very thick lines, but you have to switch pins. With a brush marker, if I'm filling in an area, I just push down, fill it in. But if I'm up against something and I don't want to mess it up, I don't want to go over the line, I can just use the tip. So I've got probably, let's see, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got 10 brushes here. More than that, if you know what you're doing. But I don't know what I'm doing. Right there's, I gotta go around that. I don't think I'm gonna put that there. It doesn't even make sense. Yeah. Okay, thank you for watching so much. I'll just end it here and say look for the next video. Definitely go out And check out Allen Stoll, his books, and his website. Right now it's under construction. He's revamping some things. But a real nice guy. And is, well, I'll end with this. His Noah and Alex, two brothers on an adventure to find an extra cheesy pizza. They fight wizards and giant wolves. They encounter the greatest pizza chef in the world, who happens to be not a human. Really fun stuff. So you know, it's based on the gaming idea. In fact, it's narrated by Noah, and it exists within the game. So anything's possible. And it's, as you can see, it's might be described as medieval. This is Mark Johnson, artist, musician, part-time idiot. Bye-bye. See how I'm fading that music out? Yeah, it's awesome. After a while, bathroom tile.